Yeah, so in today's class, we are going to continue the validation process. In the last class, we learned how to apply and configure the trust of the different columns from a different source, and what is the significance of control table and all. And also, we learn what is the data manager and how to access data from the data manager, like how we can see the data. We will learn more about data manager, merge manager, and data steward in detail later. And second, we started understanding the concept of validation. Like if we want to reduce the trust score for some specific records, like customer name is coming as a null, a customer name having alphanumeric character, a customer name having two character kind of that, which are not supposed to come. So in some cases, if we understand and which kind of data can come in the particular column, so we can apply some validation rule, and if that rule will pass, then the cluster score for that particular data will be lower down automatically as per our configuration. So yesterday we had configured some data, some rule, validation rule. Here you can see like customer name is null. So let's try to create some test data so that we can understand it. So we'll create a test data in landing table. So let's go to landing table. So CL cuts in landing table. Here, just for CRM source, I am making this customer name Raj as a null value, so that we can understand that validation rule should apply on this. Now let me run the stage job so that we can get this data in a stage table. So in a stage, let's come to stage. For the stage, we have to come to a stage table. Which data is from, I think, the CRM, right? So for CRM, our stage table is this. So we have to run this. So let's execute batch. Let's get the data in a stage table. We got one data, that is fine. Let's run the load job. We got one data, but this time I think we have not translated the data in the base object, right? So see, this time it taken as a no action. So better, let's make the force update. We know why this happened no action, because last update and all we never changed. We only change the kind of name of the data. So once it will compare with the X-ray, so it will understand that no change has happened because the last update is same. Okay. So let's do the force update. Click on the force update and it's click so that we can get some update. So this time you can see one record updated, one record updated X-ray also due to force update. Now we can go to data managers and let's try to see that record. What this is saying. Good package, request. The trust heading has been modified. The synchronization process needs to run from the batch manager before the data manager can be used to look at this page. Okay, let's run the synchronize job. Where is that? Come to batch viewers. And here we will have synchronize job. Let's run one time. Cannot easily proceed this and replace such a procedure. Check the applications. What happened to this? This is log. Acquire log, revalidate. We have to run the synchronize job. Very best synchronize job. Let's run the revalidate if we are not getting that. That is fine. Revalidate record one because the validation rule has been applied. Let's try to see if we are able to access that. CP first package. Now we are able to access this data. So this data was from CRM and customer name. We have to see here. We can see customer name is null. Okay. Now if customer name is null, here we can see. Then still we are getting trust score 70. and this trust score 78. That means trust score has not been downgraded. Ideally, if we are getting customer name null, so as per our validation rule here configured, what should happen? So we have configured this validation rule, and it will check like your customer ID is null. If it is null, then it should downgrade the percentage by 50%.
Actually, in down validation rule, you have configured customer ID is null. I think that should be customer name.
Where is customer name we have taken, right?
In down where you have applied the rule, validation rule.
Okay, you are correct. Thanks for reminding this. You are correct. So here we have given name correctly. Here also rule name we have given correctly, but here in condition we are checking on customer ID, correct? That's why it is not working. Correct. So here we have to take customer name because we have created this data on customer name. So now let's run it. We have saved it, and already we have data in our stage table. Let me run to load process. Revalidate it. One recovery validated. Now we need to run the load job for CRM or subject. So one record got updated. Now we can come to data managers and let's try to see the trust score. So see, this time now it's working perfectly. Customer name got trust value from 70 to 35 because we got the customer name as a null, right? So our validation work is working perfectly. Like this way, you can lower down the assigned trust value. I can downgrade the trust value after creating some specific rule, validation rule. You can create a number of rules, depends on the scenario, and accordingly that downgrade will happen in the trust score for that record one, not all the record, right? So let me come to this table, the subject some child table. Yesterday we discussed DCT validation control table, DXR, cross reference validation control table. Column 1 means validation will apply failed. Column VOP 0 means validation will pass. Okay. So if we come to VCT, this is our CP cache. That CP cache is this one, and CP cache. No, this is not CP cache. You have base object that's outside. This one CP cache. This is our base object. That's fine. Here we got whatever data we had in customer null value. And here let's come to DCT. So in DCT, what we are getting? Validation OK flag 0. That means validation rule has been applied on this data. If other data will have 0, 1, that means validation rule has not been applied on the other data like that. Okay, so this is telling that validation has been applied. This is telling that customer name VPC, like validation percentage. VPC means underscore here we will get one value like DOP, and same like that we will have column underscore VPC. So downgrade validation percentage. This is basically downgrade validation percentage. Like how much downgrade happening on that column. So here we can see it is saying on customer name the VPC is 50. That means downgrade percentage on the customer name is 50. Okay. So we got this information. Yeah, here we get one RMT value. So this is also important. Column is one column name is column underscore RMT. So RMT means reserve minimum trust. Okay, reserve minimum trust. What is the meaning of this reserve minimum trust? So if we come here in our validation rule, so here we saw one option. If we see here, reserve minimum trust. Okay. So what it will do? Suppose if I'm enabling it. Okay. If I'm enabling it, I'm saving it. Let's we have enabled the reserve minimum trust, and now let's come to our system and trust where we have defined. So for customer name, I need to check for customer name for CRM. we have defined the minimum value as a 70. So let me make 60 for easy understanding. Okay. So suppose we are taking minimum value as a 60. Okay. So what it will do, it will downgrade the percentage by 50%. But so our 50% downgrade is coming 35. That means 70% minus 70 into 50%, it will come 35. But our minimum value is 60. System is saying that minimum value should be 60. And you have checked that the minimum, it should take the, it will reserve the minimum value. So in place of 35, it should take 60 because we have enabled the reserve minimum value. Okay. So let's do this scenario implemented. So I've taken this 60. Let's go to validation rule here, and we have enabled the reserve minimum trust. Okay. So this time, although customer name is null, this time the value should not take 35. It should take the 60, which we have assigned the minimum value. Okay, it will reserve that value. So let's try to check this. For that, we already have data in a stage table. And if we have changed something, let's try to run this revalidate or synchronize whatever we are getting. So this is related to validation. So let's revalidate it. So, okay, one record revalidated. So better once we create a validation job, and then we need to run revalidate job to apply changes for validation rules. Every time once we make the change in the validation rule, we'll try to run this. And for trust, we will run the synchronize job. Okay. So we've already executed this, revalidate. Now let's run the load for CRM and let's do the force update, then execute batch. We saw that one record got updated. Okay. Now let's see the cluster score this time. So we have this, let me reload. See, I've reloaded and we are getting 69.27 is near about 70. Why we are getting 69.9? We are supposed to get this value as 60. Next, we have changed that value in system and trust. Here is 60. On CRM, this one is formula 60. So the minimum value is 60, right? We are giving minimum value 60 here, that is working fine from CRM source. And if we are coming to validation rule, so in validation rule, we have already reserved the minimum trust value, that is also looking fine. Customer name is null, that rule is also fine. So why that this is not taking the real value? Let me search again. So still taking 69, that means 70. It is now downgrading and it should take ideally near about 60 value, so that we can understand that it is reserving the minimum trust value. Let me go and see in the tables, BCP table. So here is saying RMT flag is checked as a 1. Okay. And validation, okay. See, here we are getting one signal that validation is not applying on this report, right? So this is a good signal for us to debug that VOK is 1. That means validation is not applying. Why? So let's do one thing. Let's truncate this data. So you can delete data from here, but that will be soft to delete. So better to truncate data from backend itself. So let's come to base object and remove the data and see validation is applying or not. Here we have removed and we need to remove in Excel. So, okay. And let me remove the VPC table also. I think here it will automatically appear. Now let's run the load job. Are we getting any revalidate job? Let's run the revalidate job one more time. Think it should be okay. No revalidation happened because we have not changed anything. Now let's run the load job. Okay, so load job, it will insert one record because we have already removed the record from the base object, right? So let's run the load job simply. And we'll check first. Okay, one record inserted. Let's come to first VCT table. And here let's see what it is saying about our VOK flag. Now it's saying VOK flag applying. 0 means it is passing, right? And RMT also 1, okay? So for RMT, so if 1 means RMT will reach here minimum trust value. If 0 means no RMT, no reserve minimum trust, okay? Whatever it will come after downgrade, that value will take. Downgrade value will be taken. Downgrade value will be taken. Okay, so VPC this we understood, and real time we face such kind of things. Like sometimes we see that validation is not applying, trust is not coming down. So on this table we can see the kind of trigger. That's what is happening here. So we can see here it is taking 50% downgrade, validation will applying, RMT also enabled. Then we can check that. And now we can come to data analysis. Let me reload it from here. And see here we are getting the correct reserve minimum value, right? We are getting 60. So 60 means the reserve value, minimum value what we have configured in system and trust, then that value will be reserved. Very simple, okay? So this is all about trust and validation. If you guys have any question, please come.
Yeah, can you go to the table again and show the flag, which flag basically you are looking
Okay.
with?
Yeah, this three flag is very important.
Okay.
So be okay, means validation okay. If validation will be okay, then we will get 0. That means validation has been applied. Okay, I have already made note here. So here you can see the column B okay. 1 means validation failed. Failed means validation not applied. 0 means validation passed. Means validation has been applied on that record. Okay.
Okay.
And PPC. PPC means downgrade validation percentage. How much we are downgrading. So whatever downgrade percentage we will configure here, 50, 60, 70. Then accordingly that value we can see in this column, PPC. And underscore RMT, say reserve minimum trust. So if we have reserve minimum trust enabled in our validation rule here, then it will be 1, else it will be 0. Simple. We saw both the same things, right? Just now. So if you not enable, then it will be 0. So whatever downgrade value will come, it will automatically calculate and it will take.
So these 3 columns is important for the validation.
Right.
Okay.
So this 3 column is important for the VCT table. So if we are discussing about validation rule, then we should aware about these 3 columns.
Okay. And another question you said about the force update.
Yeah, force update already we covered in the last class. If you remember, you were also there in that class. So let me recap it. So if you come to batch viewer, so if you are running any load job, so here we are getting force update. Okay. So what is force update? If you come to load process here, batch subject and 2 types, and here condition of update in base subject table. Okay. So if SRC LUD is same, then it will ignore. If existing, then this all option we had discussed, right? Very good. Force update option we have. Okay. I think I have not mentioned here. Let me write that. So, update. Data will be ignored means no update. It's when SRC LUD. So if SRC LUD is same, then data will be ignored means no update. Okay. If SRC is less, then GC record will ignore that. So in this, in above both cases, here I'm writing one more. In above both cases, if you want to update record, update data in view, this subject, then enable force update while running the load job. Okay, what it will do? So whatever records here we can see it is ignoring here. It is not updating the record in these two cases. And if you still want to update, then you can just enable the force update, like how we are doing here. Here you can enable the force update and then you can run. So in case of force update, irrespective of this value, it will update the record. Okay. So it will not check the cross reference and all, it will directly update the record.
Okay, forcefully updated. Got it.
Yeah, forcefully.
And another question, just you explain about this. So I'm just to asking about the real-time scenario is business requirement. Which scenario we can use as validation, and so just I want to understand.
Yeah, so in my current project, I can tell you we have one pharma client where we have what we say life span related to the product. Okay, so we have product master where we are maintaining the product related master data. So there we have suppose what we say we have one column that is what we say ratings related column. So that will identify the ratings of the product. Okay. So suppose the pharma company launched some products, some medicine in the market, and as we know that rating value can change as per the performance of the product, right? So they predicted that the rating column should have a kind of maximum 90% trust score and a minimum 70% trust score in most of the cases. But in some cases, if we get some invalid data, invalid product information, then we can downgrade that value on the basis of validation rule. So if they launch that product in a different country apart from the one country, and they find that due to geography change or due to different what we say immunity power of the different human beings, that performance of the medicine is not same as performance in the other country, so it can impact the ratings positive, negative. So accordingly, that needs to be adjusted. The score needs to be adjusted to make the product created master data. So what we do in that case, if we get invalid data, we will downgrade, and invalid means we get the negative ratings, negative information about the product, then we downgrade. And in some cases, if we understand that yes, this is a kind of negative scenario for the specific country where we have very small population, so we cannot take that kind of result as a generic rating for the product. So we can ignore that kind of negative rating as well, depends on geography. So we will not downgrade from 70 to 35. We will still keep the minimum trust value. Okay. So it depends on scenario to scenario. Accordingly, we have to define the rules so that we can maintain those data.
Got it. Thank you so much.
So let's okay. So we have completed this part, validation part. Now, if we are coming at upper side, so here we have completed our many things. Okay, so let's try to learn this data manager and merge manager, which will be not merge manager. Actually, these two we should learn after the matching and merging. Okay, because there are many features which are available in data manager and merge manager where we can do the matching and merging. So that we can only learn once we learn the matching and merging. Before matching and merging, we should learn the tokenization process. If we come here in our data flow, so this part we completed with subject table, and also here we define our trust and validation, etc. So already we learned this trust and validation. So now we will move one step ahead and we can learn the tokenization process. Okay. So now we have the data in base subject table. We have already enabled and configured the cluster scores. We have applied the validation rules. And now we are trying to create the matching candidates, and now we will try to match it. So we have the data in our base subject table, and now the consolidation indicator will come in picture. So here we will move from one process to other process within the base subject table itself. Okay. So now our journey will be within base subject table, not the learning table or stage table, because this journey is already over. And now we have reached here, and now these further processes, tokenization, matching, and merging, is going to run inside the base subject table, and with the help of consolidation indicator flag, we can understand like which process is running and which process has been applied on the data. So let's recap the consolidation indicator one more time. So in this subject table, as you know that we have one column consolidation indicator, and you can have these 4 different values. 4 means new record. By default, if you see any record, it will be 4. If you have not run any further process, so this value will be 4. 4 means this is a new record came in the subject. It has not gone for finding the matching candidate. It has not went for the kind of merging. That's why trace record consolidation indicator. Okay. And okay, so this once it will queue for matching and queue for merging, this value will automatically change. Okay, so we will see this one by one. Just we will keep our eye on this. And this harvest state indicator, we know that by default it will be 1 for all the record. And if you want to keep that record in pending and hold, we can make it 0. And if you want to soft delete, you can mark -1. So these are all things we can do from here itself. I will show you how you can make the record soft deleted and how you can make hold and pending. So all these options are available. Okay, no need to go in database. So now let's jump to next process that is called the tokenization process. Okay, what is tokenization? Tokenization process. So tokenization process is very simple. What we use in our general day-to-day life. Suppose we are going in bank, and suppose I went for the account opening related things. You went for loan related thing. Other guys you went for the credit card, right? So in most of the bank which having a bigger more customer flow, they have a kind of token systems, right? Once you enter, they will ask what service you want to get. So I want to go for the loan. So they will give some token. So that token will have a different serial number. Same things apply in our hospitals also, right? If you go in a hospital, then they ask like which doctor you want to see, is for which kind of a specialty you want to go, something like that, right? Pediatrics or kind of gyno or whatever. So accordingly, they assign some tokens, and that tokens for the same department, for the same kind of doctors, they will have a different tokens, and for other doctors and other department, they will have a separate kind of series of tokens, right? So from the tokens, we can easily understand that if this is this token, then this token belongs from the this category. If this is a token, then this belongs from the other category. From the token series, we can understand, right? So same like that here, without matching the record directly, what we do, we first create a tokens. We segregate the record on the basis of record value. We will see how we can segregate. Okay, so tokenization means we segregate, we assign tokens to each record for better matching, better and easy matching. Why easy matching? So suppose if you want to find, if you went in bank and you entered for loan related things, and you want to find some guy to whom you want to discuss, he is also related to loan. So how we can find easily? If suppose our token is a starting loan, something like that, and this token also a starting loan, something easily we can find, right? This token is also starting with same. That means we are for the same kind of query, something like that, right? So what it will do, it will assign some kind of tokens, and those tokens will be based on the value of the data. Value of the data means suppose one data is having Ramesh, R-A-M-E-S-H, and other data is R-A-M-E-S only. Okay. So something like that, it will understand that this is a kind of same data. So it will assign something kind of similar kind of tokens. Okay. And suppose there is other data that is called Naveen. So Naveen is completely different from Ramesh, right? So there will be far difference in the name. So MDM can understand these two data is completely different data. Okay, so it will assign completely different tokens. So if there will be difference in huge difference in tokens, so this data will never match, right? Naveen and Ramesh should never match in ideal case also. So MDM will define tokens in that way so that you can make easy your matching task, so that you can perform the matching very easily. Okay. So we assign tokens to each record, each view record, basically, each view record for better and easy matching. Okay. Now let's go to tokenization process. For tokenization, again, now we don't need to create any job. It will automatically be created by MDM. So here is the tokenization job. Okay, so for tokenization, first we need to define some matching and merging. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's define some match and merge. Not merge. Let's define some match rule so that it will understand like what match rule you have written, and if you want to do the matching of the data on the basis of suppose customer name and address on, you are not taking customer ID. Okay, so in that case, it will not generate token for customer ID. It will only generate token for the matching data which you want to match. So let's define very simple match rule. Suppose we want to identify the different candidates on the basis of name first. So let's match the only name column. Then we will add more columns. So for defining the matching rule, you have to come to base subject. Then you have to come to match setup. And here we have different options like match columns. We have now defined. Let's come to match columns here. And here it is asking key width, key type. Okay. So here in MDM we will have some algorithm. So that algorithm will be triggered in backend once we do this kind of machine configuration. Okay. So whatever things we will configure here, accordingly the thing will be triggered in backend. Okay. So this is saying that what is key type? Key type means what is kind of data you have for matching. Is it related to person name, organization name, or address type? So why this is asking? Because it has some kind of algorithm defined for the person related information, for organization related information, for address related information. So if you configure it, then accordingly that algorithm will be triggered in backend. Okay. So here we are going to match the customer name. So customer name basically belongs to this person name. So let's take person name, and here it is asking key width. So key width means what is the kind of flexibility you want to give while matching. So flexibility means suppose there are kind of 5 people in a one room, okay, and you want to understand that what could be the similarity in the 5 people. So you can say if name of the 5 people is same, then I can say that 5 people is same. Other person saying no, if name is maybe name and name is not same, like his father name, his village, and his kind of employee ID and the other details are same, then it could be a same person. It could be a similarity. Other person saying yes, his name also should be same, his address also should be same, his mobile number also could be same, then it could be a kind of same person. Okay. So suppose we have five dummy person. 5 dummy person means we have 5 data for the same person. So for same person, we have the 5 data from different sources. That means 5 dummy person you have in front of you, and we have to select kind of one person out of 5 who is the correct one. So we can define some rule. Okay, and on the basis of that rule, we can say that I can take this value from this dummy person, this value from this dummy person, and I can create one master data, and I can say this is the master data I can trust out of this 5%. So how much flexibility you want to give? So that flexibility you have to define. If you make it more flexible, it will generate the more tokens. If you generate the more tokens, there is a probability of more matching. But there is a demerit of that. If we will enhance the probability of matching, then it can create the wrong matching candidate also. Okay, so we have to be very careful, like what flexibility we should keep while generating the match tokens, because matching rule completely depends on the match tokens. Okay, so if we generate more tokens, so it can create a more matching candidate, but the demerit is that it can generate the wrong candidate also. So we have to be very careful. Second case, if we are taking very stringent kind of rule, where we are generating only very few tokens, okay, but the limitation of this is that it can ignore the right matching also. So since it is generating the less kind of less kind of tokens, so it can ignore the right candidate also. It will not be able to identify the right matching which you are supposed to match, but those are not matched into the list tokens. Okay, so we have to be very careful. So that's why it has given 4 different kind of options. So it depends up to your data how you can select that. And for that, we do some kind of data analysis and data sampling, and then we understand, like for this data, we should take these things, and for this data, we should take these things. So here we can see we have option. Let me open one documentation for this. Go to C drive, MDM materials, message queue, tokenization, match and match. Okay. So before understanding this, already we discussed the tokenization process, right? Now, as we know that for tokenization, we need to understand the matching also. Okay. So in matching, we have 2 types. Okay. One is called a jet match, and the second is called fuzzy match. So in exact match, if the tokens, sorry, in exact match, tokens will not be generated. Always remember, okay? In exact match, no tokenization happens. No tokenization happens. So if you define a rule which you are saying that the column name should exactly match, in that case, tokenization does not come in picture. Always remember that, okay? And fuzzy match, this is kind of probabilistic match, okay? Where record can match, same like live condition in our SQL, okay? So here, tokenization will come in picture. So, tokenization will come in picture. Okay. So in exact match, why tokenization have not happening? So in exact match, it is saying if we are only trying to find the exact candidate, like which are 100% matching, so we can easily do through our kind of matching algorithm, and there no need to define the tokens. But if you are going for kind of probabilistic matching, so that will be kind of more crucial. This will not be a simple, okay? Because in probabilistic, we can create the wrong candidate also, or we can lose the right candidate also. In case of probabilistic, in case of fuzzy match, okay? So fuzzy match is only complex. This get match is very simple. So if you are going for fuzzy match, then the tokenization will come in picture. Always remember that. And here we can see there is the option of population set. So basically, what is the use of this population set? Here you can see it will count match setup properties, and here you can see population set. That fuzzy population, okay. So in fuzzy population, here we can see only demo, okay. So this is basically fuzzy. What is the option? Let me write exact one, fuzzy population. Okay, so fuzzy population, we have option of population set. So what it is saying that in real time now we get actually different licensing for this. So if you want to apply some kind of address related matching on some separate geography like kind of United States, Germany or some other place, so we can buy a separate license from Informatica where we will have the option to select the kind of different population zone. Okay. So what it will do in backend, it will find, it will trigger some kind of address validation algorithm, and that will help you to find the address matching more correctly. So in place of just blindly using the MDM for adding the population related to address or person details also, if we are using that algorithm, it will give more accuracy. Okay. So that algorithm also has option to match the person name also. Because person name, as we know that in other country, although the name looks different, but person is same, right? So like in India, sometimes for Ram we say RAM. Some people say Sri Ram, like a name nickname. So both are same, right? There are many names in our country also for which we use a different name, but that identify the same person, right? They denote the same person. So like that in other country also, like in USA also, there are kind of names which looks like different, but it denotes to the same person. So if you are applying that algorithm here, so that algorithm will take care such kind of things which we are discussing, okay, and that will give you the better matching candidate. And in case of no additional license, in case of general license, you will get only demo option. So by default, you can keep it. Okay. So this is about the population set. Like here, you can see Robert and Bob are similar record for US population. Okay. So mostly Robert and Bob are kind of similar person in the US population. Mike and Michael both are means name of the same person in the kind of US population. Okay. So these type of things will be taken care in the algorithm if we are taking that. So now we understood there are two type of matching, and this fuzzy population option we saw. Now also we saw the tokenization, it generates the match tokens, and here one table will come in picture that is called STRP, which will give the details about the tokens tokenization. Okay, now we are going to see that. So here we will have SSA key, SSA data, and the STRP table. So we will see that. So now let's try to we learn this matching tokenization. Now let's cover this theory part also. So in match, here we will have option to build match group. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
You got disconnected, right?
Yes, for the whiles.
What
Yeah.
happened? Our recording is in progress or not? Yeah, recording is still in progress. That is fine.
Yeah, recording.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, let me continue. So here in the matching theory part, if same matching tool is applying, then if you ignore.
We are not able to see in your screen.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let me just share my screen. Now you are able to see, right?
Yes.
Okay. So here we have, suppose REC1 matches REC2. Suppose there is a record one which is matching to record 2 matching record 3 matching record 4 matching record 5. Same like suppose we have 5 customer data and customer 1 data matching to 2, 3, something like that. This kind of chain we will see it can happen once we run the match process. Like this kind of match can this is one match candidate. This is one match candidate. This is kind of one match candidate. So we'll see there may be chances that one record can match with the multiple people. Okay, if the name is same, right? So for one record we can get the multiple match candidate also. So we see that after running match process and then creating build match group, what we will get? We will get REC matches, REC2, REC matches, REC3. That means here we can see one match is 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. So if you are enabling this option, then what it will do? It will make a kind of linear relation from the first record. So that means one record match 2, one record match 3, one record match 4, one record match 5. So this candidate one you can only get if you are enabling this. If you not enable this, then go disconnected. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we say. Yeah. Yeah.
There is a problem with internet. Okay, so it is now showing indirect matching. So let's now we are going to spend our these classes for the matching and merging. So let's try to create one simple match rule to understand it. So for creating the match rule, first you have to define your logic. You are going for fuzzy match or exact match. Okay. So now for simplicity, we are taking exact match for first case. Okay. The base object that contains fuzzy columns cannot be set to exact match. Okay. So here in properties, let's ignore for time being. Set all match search, fuzzy population, we have taken demo. Okay. Now let's come to path. This path I will come later. Once we will have child of some table, then this path needs to be defined. And okay, here in match column, first we have to define the match columns. Okay. So here we have taken person name. Here we have taken a standard, and yeah, key width we will have 4 options. Let me see if I have some detail about the key width. You can choose one of the following search labels, narrow, efficient. The following search label, Yes, this search label is after generating the tokens, okay? Not we apply with the match labels. Create the people appropriate for next to search. Okay. So for this, I will add some details here like for each of these options. Because the interview they ask like which option is what. Okay. So here we have to remember two things. Extended is it will generate the more tokens. Always maximum tokens will be generated in case of extended. Okay. So here, if we are taking this as an example, and here we have a key width. So this key width we always have to remember. What is the key width? EWIDGH, we have four options. One is, let's start with limited. Okay. So limited means it will generate one. Default means it will generate one. And in limited, it will generate more than one. You can generate 1, 2, 3 also. And in a standard, it will generate more than limited. And in extended, it will generate highest. Like that. Okay. So sequence, here we can write for easy understanding. Sequence for generating more tokens from low to high. Low to high. Means it will generate first it will generate low, then high, then high, then high like that. Okay. So low to high. So lowest will be generated in case of preferred. So in case of preferred, we will generate only one token. So preferred. So here it will be lowest. Lowest one token only. Okay. Now if we are coming, then it will be a limited. Second will be limited. Limited means just more than preferred. Okay. And then we will have a standard. A standard means more than limited, something like that. And extended means highest tokens out of this four. Highest tokens out of options. Okay. Okay. So let's come here. So we understood these four options. And here we also understood key type. As per the data, we have to select the respective key type. Let's mention the key type here also. Key type. Need to select respective key type as per view data. The person, address, organization, etc. Okay. So these two options we have to define. So already we understood this. Now here it will ask you to choose the path. So path, tomorrow we are going to write some complex matching rule so that we can understand. Suppose we have the data related to customer, and you also have data related to customer, and the data is from the address. You also have data related to customer, and that data is suppose belongs to. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And suppose some data we have from the organization, means we have the organization detail of the customer. We have the address detail of customer. We have kind of what we say, medical details of the customer. Okay. So for the same customer, we can have the different child information, which can explain the customer in a more detailed way, right? So in place of matching only customer detail, you are trying to match the child details also, like other information also, so that you can find the exact match of the family. For example, if we are saying that Ramesh is a one person and address is Delhi, mobile number is something like that. So if you are giving mobile number, then the chances are that it will have the same person, because two person cannot have the same mobile number. But yes, for address verification of address proof, same person can use the multiple mobile. Sorry, multiple person can use the same mobile number, right? In one family, once we go for Aadhaar card or voter ID card, so we can give the same mobile number to our family members also, right? So that is possible. So still we are not sure, although name is same, address is same, mobile number is same. So still we are not sure that person is same. So what we can do? We can go for his other details. We can go more details about his address. Now we will not only see he's from Delhi, we will see his exact home address. So you get home address, we will have address field 1, address field 2, we will have zip code, we will have district, right? We will have a kind of 5 to 10 attributes. So in place of just matching the city of his address from Delhi, we are going to match the more details attribute of that address. Okay? Same like that, if you are still not able to sure that although the address is same, maybe in the same address, multiple person can stay in the same family or in a kind of friend circle, whose name is same, right? Maybe the Ramesh, there are 20 people in one family who are staying at the same address, whose house number, everything is same.
Date
So
of birth we get.
yeah, name is same, right?
Date
So
of
again,
birth.
it could be duplicate. Now we further drill down and we found that let's try to identify the date of birth. Okay. So now suppose we given date of birth. So can we say that 100% if we are giving date of birth, then still it can always give the unique record, it will not give the duplicate? In most of the cases, that is true. We will get the unique record, because if you are adding date of birth and address and name, so we will get unique record. But there is chances if there is twins.
Father name, mother name.
Yeah, if there is twins and their name is also same, right? That could be possible, right? But this kind of record will be very less. We understand the percentage will be very less, but there could be a possibility that two twins can have the same name and their date of birth also be same, right? And their address, everything will be same. So what we can say, we will try to further get kind of some medical information of the two twins, like blood group and all, right? To identify like how their DNA and all. So from that, if we are able to identify unique, then fine. Otherwise, that could be a possibility that twins could have the same medical kind of profile also. But in many cases, twins could have the different medical profile also. So if as per data what we have in system, and if we do the data analysis, and if we add some medical kind of attributes in our matching rule, and we find
Then
more,
biometric.
yeah, then now we can go for biometric, right? So maybe biometric will not be available for all the candidates, as you know, right? Yeah, but if we have the data, then of course we can do the research and we can extend our kind of such levels like that, okay? And we will try to find the match candidate. But yes, out of millions of data, if we find that only 5-10 data having kind of this exceptional scenario, then for that kind of count, we will not do much R&D. And because problem is that if we are adding more attribute in matching rule, it is going to lower down your performance of the job, right? So out of millions of data, if you have 5-10 data only exceptional, so what we do in a project, we take the data and we handle the data manually. So we'll pass the data detail to data to our team, and that data to our team will handle the data manually. Okay, although matching, merging, everything will happen, but that data will be taken care by data steward, and they will update the data as per their knowledge. Okay, for 5-10 records, we are not going to impact our entire job, because if you add more and more rules, it's going to take more and more time to run the entire matching process. Okay, sometimes matching process can take 4-5 hours also if you have more data. So we have to